Hollywood North is booming, with countless major motion pictures and television series being filmed on the northern shores of Lake Ontario. But the demand for studio space in Toronto is reaching maximum capacity. To keep up with this demand, Cinespace Film Studios has entered an agreement with Ports Toronto to occupy and develop the space at Marine Terminal 51. The land at this location currently houses an old warehouse.
So the story with this building is that John Tory, our mayor, put out a call to every city agency to look around and see what surplus space would they possibly have for film and TV production use. The federal government came to us, the Toronto Port Authority. They said, we have this marine warehouse. It's only 20 feet high, but what do you think? We said, well, it could work, but we might have to lift the roof.
After cost and environmental assessments, Cinespace determined that raising the roof and repurposing this building was, in fact, the best course of action.
Definitely a unique project that we have here, and we have to give credit to the visionaries here, and the Larry, Nick, and Steve Mercopoulos, the owners of Cinespace Film Studios. These guys have made a career out of transforming beautiful old heritage buildings and repurposing them into the film industry. There is something to be said about managing to repurpose a building. If we don't lift this roof, if we knock this down and we build from scratch, everything here goes to landfill. The 100-year-old facility, all this workmanship that stood the test of time here just disappears, and there's no need for that. There's a beautiful foundation to build upon here.
To accommodate the blockbuster sound stages required, the building will need to be raised a whopping 15 feet in 2 separate phases. The general contractor on this job, Horizon Contractors, employs subcontractor Western Mechanical to help make it happen. They'll start here on the East End by installing 1 million pounds of structural bracing. Next, they'll install a series of computer-controlled, coordinated hydraulic jacks.
So right here we have a computer that is measuring all the displacements at each of our 20 jacks. And we have 4 big jacks here that are going to be a little bit slower. So those ones are going to govern all the other jacks, how fast we stroke them up.
The engineer is just finishing off going through his checklist. We're just preparing lights, making sure that all the traffic areas are clear, and making sure that everybody's working in a safe environment. And once we establish that the winds have died down enough, the Western team will take over by lifting the rest of the building.
As they wait for favorable winds, the team holds a toolbox talk.
Because there's a lot of bodies here, the best way for us to establish some good and thorough communication is if anyone has a concern, you go to your direct supervisor, the supervisor will bring it to our table and we'll address the concern. In this way, nothing gets missed and there's total accountability to anything that needs to be addressed, okay?
And finally, the lift gets underway.
All right, boys, the winds are good. It's time to fire everything up and get up to 80%.
The centralized computer system regulates this lift and signals each jack operator with a series of red and green lights. Each operator controls 4 jacks, and a green light gives them the go-ahead to activate the corresponding jack.
We've got the building up about 100 mil, and we just want to do another look around just to make sure everything's going well. We always plan that the first foot is going to be our hardest.
After their visual inspection, the remaining bolts are removed, and it's full force ahead. The roof is hoisted skyward until it rests 15.5 feet higher than its starting point. That extra half foot will allow the new columns to be bolted to the roof and then lowered onto existing anchor bolts. But before new columns can be installed, old ones have to be removed. Crews get to work on this heavy steel replacement. With multiple shifts working around the clock, Western works right through breakfast, removing old columns and installing new ones. And with all the columns installed and bolted to the roof, it's lowered into place.
It is sitting on the foundation. where it's supposed to be. And then we got to go up and actually finish all the bolts up top.
With the eastern half raised successfully, it's time to replicate the procedure in the west.
We're still using the system of the lights. It worked very well the first time.
This second lift is going off without a hitch, allowing the team from Western to stay well ahead of schedule. And in an hour's time, the roof is at maximum height. With the roof suspended, the crew shifts their focus to replacing the columns.
So the 2 interior column bays, we're standing them. We put the 4 bolts in the top and we hang it from the top. There's another 12 or 14 bolts to go in the top connection, but we leave it so we can now actually guide it as we come down over top of the anchor bolts, right?
Temporary wind bracing is also installed at this phase in the form of steel cables. As night falls, the last of the columns are mounted, and the crew lowers the structure into place. Working through the night and traveling from east to west, each section of columns are lowered onto their footings. Day breaks, the columns are secured, and that's a wrap. In the coming years, as the film industry continues to grow and thrive in this great city, Cinespace can rest assured that they played a major role in making it happen.
You know, what's going to happen in this space in the years to come is going to be truly remarkable, not just on the product that's going to be produced here and that most people will see it on camera and on television, but I think also what people won't see is really what's going to be special here. The amount of employment that these places create, it covers so many industries, so many different businesses will benefit from it in this immediate area.
In a couple of months, you will see Star Wagons in the parking lot, where right now you see layers of ice and construction vehicles. You will see costume designers looking out the window at the lake and designing something that may be Oscar-worthy one day. You will see sets going up like some kind of time-lapse video, but real time. That's what I hope you'll see here in a couple of months. A beehive of creative life in an area that has been quiet for too long.
I think what we have to always do is look behind us and remember how we got here. You know, the 3 principal owners of Cinespace, the 3 brothers, Nick, Larry, and Steve, they dedicated a very large portion of their lives to repurposing these buildings and creating jobs, creating employment. And you know, this is just another testament of their hard work and really of their vision. Not a lot of people take on projects like this. This is risky, it's different, it's unique, it's right up their alley. It's exactly what they like to do.